Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special events workshop, January 28th, 2025. The time is now 5:09. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. As we stand for our invocation, followed by our pledge of allegiance. Vice Mayor, if you don't mind, invocation, please.
O Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. We come thanking you for all of your many blessings. We come thank you, God, for the great city of Opa-locka. Continue to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Do those things which are pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're gonna go into our agenda items. And the first thing on the agenda is, we're discussing special events as well as the special events policy. All right. Does anyone want to? Yes, sir, you can start.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know you had mentioned in your report, but I wanted to have a workshop to discuss our policy and procedures for our events. And I didn't know if the manager had an overview she wanted to share, but as we saw the calendar on last month, there are a lot of things that are happening. And we had some previous proposed legislation to deal with co-sponsors and the like. And because it had not come back yet either, I wanted to just bring all that to the front so that we could have a discussion on all of those things, because what's occurring is we're getting overwhelmed. The staff is getting overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed. And so I think we need to kind of tighten that up in some kind of way that we all could agree on. I don't want to go specific point by event, because I know everything that all of us do, we feel is critical and important to the city. But I do think it's taking a toll on not only staffing, but resources and all of us. And I'm quite sure it has some fiscal impacts as well. I would like to ask my colleague, because she actually proffered the resolution and put it on hold, so I don't like to go over anyone's progress. Is she still working on this legislation, or what is her intent? Because I thought it was a good framework to at least have a discussion on the sponsorship policy and procedures for activities. And something else I want to just put out, and again, that's why it's a workshop. I think we need to look at possibly, again, how many events that each of us can hold. I know we had made a determination, certain things were commission oriented, where all of us was a part, but then we also had our own individual. So I want to hear my colleagues' thoughts on that, and then I have some possible suggestions, ideas going forward. So I'll just open up with that, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Vice Mayor, which colleague, 2 feet, who are you referring to?
Well, I'm referring to the one that Commissioner Bass had proffered a while back.
What's the legislation?
It didn't pass. It got tabled. It was a resolution about co-sponsorship policy and procedures for activities and special events in collaboration with nonprofit organizations, kind of long, that she proposed, I guess back in June.
Back in June. Madam Manager, is it possible that you can have Chief of Staff give everybody a copy of that resolution? It came before us in June. You know the one he's referring to? No, but we still want to see it. We still want to see it. Okay, and I'll give you the floor, Madam Dr. Bass.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we all should take a look at the policy first. Because there's a lot of meat in there that honestly that I don't recall right now, because it was in June, like you said earlier. And I believe once we put our policies and procedures together, most especially deal with non-for-profit, because all of us do, things will run smoother.
Okay. Okay, before anyone else, but Madam.
Yeah.
So I got you. My issue, like I stated at the commission meeting, I think that we are, like you said, we are overextending ourselves when it comes down to events. There is a lot on the calendar. And even in the one in January, it seemed like it was something every day or every other day in January. And just like I stated at the meeting, there is a cost associated with it, even though we're not necessarily paying for it, but we're talking staff time, we're talking lights, we're talking water, we're talking printing, so there is a cost associated with it. So I also wanted the commission to take a look at how we do events, how many events we do, and we make a decision on tonight. But also, Madam Manager, and I asked you this before, we need to define the difference between a city event, a commission-sponsored event, and a partnered event, because that's what seems to be convoluted, in my opinion. So city events, we know is events that we do with it's budgeted events. Then commission events and stuff are individual initiatives. And then I know throughout the year, things come up as it relates to partnership events. So I just want us to, tonight, I guess we can have that discussion as a body to define the three.
Okay,
Okay.
because during our budget process, that was discussed and each elected official did say which event was their sponsored event.
No, but what does that actually look like? That's what I mean.
Okay,
That's what I mean, defining that. What does
Okay.
that actually look like? So a city event is a budgeted event. A sponsorship, a commission initiative is an initiative, individual initiatives and partnerships. How does that work? And I know that's what you were dealing with the nonprofit resolution, which we're waiting on. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, and also, where finances from the outside becomes a part of the, help me here, y'all.
Part of the event, when it's paid for from the outside,
Right.
Okay.
Or charges.
charges.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Vice Mayor can help me with this, but I think there's legislation on the books that speaks to when a nonprofit donates or an organization donates to in-kind or money to events. I think there's something on the books that speaks to that.
I'm not aware if it is, but I do know that proposed legislation that Commissioner Bass sponsored, it did address that.
I think there's something that's wrong. But I'm almost certain there's something that speaks to that. Vice Mayor?
No, thank you, Mr. Santiago.
Oh,
How about
Commissioner
him?
Santiago?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm a little confused, and I'm gonna wait for they bring the resolution that we are presenting in June. It's a long time past, and believe me, also me, I don't even know what are we talking about. When we have any event, be a sponsor for the second person outside, that's what we call it. What are we calling again?
Sponsors.
Yeah, from the people from outside, partner.
Partners.
Okay,
Mhm.
I do not understand why that we had to bring into this workshop that we have for the city event. That's the more important thing that we have tonight. Also, any other event, one of us, make one of the commissioner and it be sponsored by us. I know that the big event that we do by the level day is responsible for private interests, sponsored by me for sure. But everybody in that event be paid. Everybody, if you're not making mistake, Madam Manager from Park and Recreation, Police Department, Public Works, everybody get paid for that event.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
that's what I understand. If it is be sponsored by us, you have to be paid by us. City event is something else. City event, we have a big budget here this year that I believe myself, I don't want to say anything now. Let's go, later on in the discussion, but we have a lot of things to talk here about the city event. I want to wait for that resolution to see what is the meaning of that, because
Okay,
it's totally out of the situation that we have here.
no, Commissioner, it's not. They're all related. The problem is.
How is related?
I'll explain. What we're facing right now is pretty much the same word that Vice Mayor said. We're a little burnt out because there is a lot on the calendar. And though you say that it's being paid for by outside entities, but that's not always the case. That was a unique situation. But even then, there's still staff that has to work, and that's outside of their normal schedule.
Yeah.
So there is,
That's good. Okay, this is a good point. Like I know the example about January, but let's see. Okay, who is the commissioner have more events out there, and that's the reason we have to start it and talk. Okay, about us, not about the staff. It's us. It's us. You know?
And-
I
and-
think so because it's. I think if it's one thing there appear when on the my name is only one.
but we march at the beat of the same drum. At least we try to. That's what
Perfect, but that's
So that's
something
what
that
we
we have
do.
to take care ourselves and recognize that the staff that we have, they have family, okay, they have things to do, and they cannot be 24-hour service hours.
We all agree with that.
Thank you.
All right, Vice Mayor.
I'll yield to Commissioner Urban. Oh, okay. Mr. Mayor, okay, let's just, while we're waiting on the policy, the previous policy that the city had was the one that goes back kind of previous to some of us here, and that goes back to
It was 21.
Resolution 21. Yes, that was back a while back. That goes back 2021. That was the last official policy. It had a lot of different things in it that some of us agreed with, some of us didn't. Of course, at that time, you had a special events coordinator. You don't really have that position. Now it's in the manager's office. You had other different.
Hold on, Vice Mayor. I mean, Madam Manager, where are we with that position?
So we have been interviewing for that position. The last interview that we had, we went over the functions, and that person asked the question, so does this mean I have to work every Saturday and Sunday? And I said, not every Saturday and Sunday, but we do have events on Saturday and Sunday. And that person clearly said, I cannot accept the position.
Got it.
So we
This
are
still
actively recruiting.
All right, I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay, and while you're active, and that's probably a sticking point probably for anybody who wants that position because there's so much. I am again referencing the past or previous legislation, which is all we have officially on the books. I know we talked about, we wanted to tweak it, we suggested it, but going back to some of the points, again, this is in the policy on the special events as listed on the Parks and Rec about city incur expense. In the absence of available budget, the sponsor must obtain commission approval, including a budget amendment. Of course, we know, I don't know, I can't speak to how many times it happened, but that's a challenge, I believe. Also, the event guide that we even had from last year, Mr. Mayor, as you're asking, alluded to the events. I think the clarity on sponsored hours versus outside entities that we co-sponsor needs to be clarified as you're suggesting. So I really want to have us look at that and the financial side as Commissioner Bass related, because when you're co-hosting, co-sponsoring, what is that cost for the co-sponsor? And I want the manager and the clerk, if I can, Mr. Mayor, to speak to that, because a lot of times, just from my observation, when we co-host or co-sponsor, and I've even had it with some of mine, there's a difference of expectation when folks are co-sponsoring, co-hosting with us of who is responsible for what. Because sometimes even when I've had folks at the feedings, we will tell them one table and 2 chairs, and they get there thinking they could get 4 tables and 8 chairs. And I've kind of said to them, no, your agreement was what we would provide this and that. And I don't know if any of you ran to that, but I want the manager's office and the clerk's office to speak to that because those are primarily the two that deal with it. So I think those things need to be clarified. I even asked if there's a form that we have that we utilize for those kind of situations, and asked if it could be, if it was one found, to let all of us see it. So I don't know if the manager or the clerk's office found one. I don't remember one since this legislation. But I think all of those are the challenges. Again, it's not about all of us doing things that we think are beneficial or we partner with, but we've got to get a handle on it. So I know, Mr. Mayor, you'd asked for the documentation from Commissioner Bass. So I guess it's been provided. But I think we need to look at what is commission total, Because when you look at our package that we received, that we all passed and agreed on, it's pretty laid out what's a city event, who's hosting it, who's co-hosting it, but it does not really speak to some of the partnerships and things that we do throughout the year. And I'm not even sure if this list that we have now has been updated. Madam Manager, Mr. Mayor, to the manager, has this list been updated from what we kind of, is there anything changed from it?
No, this is the
So
list.
it's still the same?
Yes.
So that's what we're going by. So then
Yes.
anything else that comes up would be considered what? How do you classify that? Because we all agreed on these, so I
So
got
these-
those.
So these are the budgeted events. If anything else comes up, it would be a non-budgeted commission event, which means that they would have to get sponsorships or donations for the event.
Okay, and is there Mr. Mayor, is there a form that we have for those kind of partnership or agreements?
No, at this time, we do not have a form. I do have staff working on trying to create one, but we don't have one at this time.
Okay, I think that's critical too, and I think to my colleagues, as we read the proposed legislation that was offered back, and of course, a lot of things have changed, tweaking it, but I think we need to look at it. We also need to come to a decision, if not tonight, at least discuss how many events each of us individually can have outside of our corporate ones. When I say corporate, National Day of Prayer or those we have budgeted as the manager indicated, but when something else comes up, how many of those can we have per month or per year? I know it may not be a comfortable conversation, but we need to have it. But I'd like the manager and the clerk again to speak to that concern, Mr. Mayor, because it really falls under them.
So when we have the joint events, the co-sponsored events, it does put a lot on the staff because it's like a regular city event. Staff have to set up, staff have to be there. We're using all of our tables, chairs, everything as if it's a regular city event. And it's not clear on what the other agency is really doing.
Okay,
And it varies from event to event.
okay. Mr. Mayor, to the clerk.
Mr. Mayor? Yes, so I think I've spoken with several of you all individually, and I kind of expressed to you all the wear and tear of all the special events on the staff in the clerk's office because they do work 8 to 5, and they're also expected to attend events Saturdays and Sundays. I've also expressed my concern as it relates to partnering with other agencies and the lack of clear policies in place and the expectation for city staff versus the agency. Like, what are they expected to do versus what our city staff is expected to do? And I think that's where, I have an issue with because there's no clear policy in place that would, let us know, if you partner with an agency, is the city clerk staff supposed to be in attendance at those events? Are we supposed to, because we've had issues before where the agencies had that expectation that we're to bring, the city is to provide the food, tables, chairs, all of that, but there is nothing in writing that would let us know like what is the policy when we do partner with these agencies. And I think that's a concern that I have, in addition to the number of hours outside of the 40 per week that my staff is working for special events.
Okay, Madam Clerk, Vice Mayor?
No, she was responding.
I think she was,
You finished, madam? So you, to your knowledge, you don't have a form in your office either that addresses that?
So outside of the facility rental application that we fill out through Parks and Recreation, there's nothing separate that would nothing that I've seen that, it's in place for the city. If there is, then I mean someone can provide it to me, but I have not seen that document.
Madam Manager, I'm familiar with two forms, a special events form that I think we do through planning and zoning, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's the FRA form that we do through Parks and Rec.
Correct.
So how we do, I guess, in my office, we fill out the FRA form and submit it to you all and it disseminates.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec,
Mhm.
and it goes, And that's just to pick the facility?
Yes.
Or to hold the rental?
That's for the facility.
That's just for the facility?
Yes,
And then the special events, that's for outside entities that
Correct.
want to do something in the city of Opa-locka.
that's correct. Yes.
But on the FRA form, does it say what the event, who the event, how is it being budgeted? Is that on that form?
No, it says name, location, date, type of event, number of people, and the location.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, part of that is the lacking of clear information. And we've seen this even with regular rentals, not just with ours, because I have that challenge all the time. And I know Commissioner Irvin has probably seen it because she's close to Shabani Village. Even with a lot of the regular rentals, they're saying it's going to be 40 people and you got 150 people in parking all over the place. So it's not just with the regular form, but definitely since we're talking about the commission, we need to kind of come up with a form. I say you're working on something, so I guess between you, the clerk, and the attorney, work on something that can become a part of whatever we eventually pass for this particular issue, because it is a challenge. And I still say it's a challenge on resources, because a lot of times, as you indicated, folks are expecting or think they're going to get one thing, and then we're thinking something else, and then staff has to be called in. So I would suggest that as you complete that form, and my colleagues are looking at the proposed legislation that was passed, that we come up with something. I know we're not going to get all the final answers tonight, but I do think we need to work towards that. And in looking at, as you said, Mr. Mayor, what we do as events, co-sponsored events, or events that come up, because things do come up. People come to us. We think it's a good initiative that we do, and how we deal with those versus the ones that are our own already incorporated events in the city. So the ones we have through parks right now, and you said they're budgeted. How many of those right now? Because I thought I missed something in there.
I don't have a number.
That
but
writing is
this
so small.
It's this entire list, which we went through.
But I thought we cleared out some of them though.
This is the
Pardon?
list. This is it. This is the
Yeah, I'm
final
looking
list.
at it, but I thought we kind of took out some of them.
This is the list that was discussed during our budget process, and this is the one that's in the budget book.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
the
Mayor.
clerk included it in the package. Yes.
And how many is that? Is that number? No, what I'm asking is, besides the ones that's in there, how many new ones have come up since then? Because your office and the clerk is a part of it.
I don't have that number, but according to our budgeted events is 26.
Budget is 26.
Yes,
Okay, and the ones that come up, you don't really know that number.
I don't.
Okay. And has there been any over fiscal impact besides the 26 that you have a number for, an amount for?
Other than the ones that's on this list?
No, the ones that's on the list, not, well, the other ones too, but definitely this one on the list. The ones on the list should be okay, I would assume, because
Yes,
we
they
already
are.
knew what
They're
those were.
budgeted. If it's a list if it's an event that's budgeted, we keep a budget for each event. I don't have those numbers right now because, of course, we have to wait for invoices to come in. We just had events recently, and we don't have those final numbers as of right now because we have to wait for vendors to send their invoices. But what I will tell you, we had about 6 from this list so far under this new budget that started October 1.
Vice Mayor, 1 second, because I get where you're going, and I kind of too want to know. Madam Manager, let's break this down real quick. And we can start from the top to bottom. We have the Arabian Nights. We know that has not been done yet. The book bag giveaway, was that in this budget or?
No, it's next budget.
That's next year's budget.
So the first one on this list will be bingo. Bingo, $7,800. These amounts that I'm giving does not include staff time.
Okay, so bingo, we've done, that's the 22,000. That's what
Yes.
we're in the middle. Okay, what about the walk run? We haven't done yet. The baby shower, has that been done yet?
No, that's
No.
no.
Chesson, that's also throughout the year.
Yeah,
The gun buyback, that was one of my initiatives. We haven't done that yet.
we have not did it.
Okay, karaoke, we had,
We
haven't done it yet?
Had karaoke yet,
Okay, we had $10,000 here.
but we haven't did it this year yet.
okay, and the mayor's business luncheon, we had one. The Christmas toy drive is done.
Am I giving the amounts or you just going through the list?
You have them out
For the ones that we did already?
with the actual dollar amount?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was asking.
Christmas
Yes.
toy drive. Because I thought you said you didn't. That's why I was just running through them.
So I'm gonna give you what we have so far.
Okay.
So, bingo 7,800, chess is $200 per month and we don't go over the chess.
Okay.
The mayor's business luncheon, 1,098, Christmas toy celebration, 7,086, MLK walk, $2,603, Veterans Day,
Wait,
$994.
wait, you're going too fast. You're
Oh,
going too
sorry.
fast.
Sorry.
What was Christmas? I'm sorry. I stopped at
Christmas
Christmas.
toy celebration, $7,086,
Okay. All right.
MLK walk, $2,603,
Okay.
Veterans Day, $994,
Okay.
Conga-Loka, $806,
800 what? I'm sorry.
806.
That's the money that you're spending in Opa-locka, the
Yeah.
city,
The city spent because a lot of it was
Sponsors.
outside.
Yeah.
A lot of be from outside,
Correct.
donated by people outside.
correct.
What else you got?
Family fun night, $3,168.
Family fun, family.
Where's that?
Halloween fun night,
Oh.
How much?
$3,168.
60. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
What was it?
This-
3,000?
Smear.
I'm sorry.
$3,168.
So you,
Go
Mr. Mayor,
ahead.
so these numbers here are inclusive of staff time too?
No, sir. It does not include
This is
staff.
just the event
That's
or whatever
just
that we
the
purchased to make the
expenditure for
event.
Correct.
So all these numbers so far don't include staff time.
None of them include staff time.
But if I'm not mistaken, was it this budget? Yes, but we said we wasn't calculating staff time in the events. And we were gonna do that. What was that? And then what's the number? It said temporary labor at the top. It's for the 5,000. And then the lighting detector system.
That's a part. So this comes from the budget and this is a part of Parks budget.
Parks
This
budget.
sheet, yes. So it's other under contracted services and that's Parks budget.
Got
The
it.
special events start where it says special events to your left column. And the very first one is Arabian
Yeah, when I
Nights.
saw temporary labor, I thought that was
Yes.
okay.
So do we have, I guess been the mayor tag team and so do we have those numbers? Those are still working
For
as
staff,
well?
for
The
staff,
staff cost.
we can definitely get it.
Now, also keep in mind to me, and again, I could be wrong, some of the things that we do take place during working hours.
Right.
So to me, I don't think it should be overtime unless they have to bring in additional people or it takes away. And I guess that depends on the event, but I'd like to know what that cost is too.
It
Yeah,
would be
what
the
those,
event and the department, because of course, Parks and Recreation, they do work later, police work later. But when you have the beautification team or one of our other departments that don't work, they work.
no, I
5
understand because I know we've had several situations where you've had 2 or 3 things going at the same time.
Correct.
So that's why I'm asking the question, if we can get whatever that breakdown is of the ones that we do. Because again, this doesn't include the other ones. This just is the one we have on the list.
Yes.
But what that overtime or additional cost, if you can get that to us,
Yes.
as well. So we would know. And is there any way for you, and maybe that needs to be on that form you're creating, to calculate projected staff time for an event? I mean, based on what we're requesting or the nature of the event, is there a way to do that?
We can, if it's one of these events. If it's an event that's not on this list, we don't know until that event comes up. So we would have to do that once we get that request for the event.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay. I'll pause. Go
And
ahead.
also, when we're having these events on the same day, it's really stretching the staff. They're all over. They'll have to leave. They leave in one event, trying to run to the other and trying to be available for both events, and it's taken a lot from the staff.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I wanna close the conversation because now we need to come up with some resolve after you speak. But we need to come up with a resolve because we're getting late in the hour. Commissioner Santiago, you have the floor.
Thank you, Lord. And thank you, Mr. Mayor. Madam Manager or Mr. Mayor, the other city have other kind of restriction that we try to discuss in tonight with the city employment when we have any event that they have to do with the residents, especially the resident of Opa-locka.
Some cities do
Oh, I
have,
know. I
yes,
want to know if they have
Yes.
restriction, they have to pay. All the
yes.
cities, all the
Yes.
cities. Okay, I like to see information about it, and like
Okay.
that we can discuss, and in the future, whatever we have tonight, the mayor want to close it because we have a very tight schedule tonight. But what what I try to say is, I think that we have to start it is to in the house inside. Okay, when all the events that we have and all the money that we are spending in only one event, that we can split in, that for everybody in the whole year and try to make things that really help the community, the people. I live in there, I close to.
Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just two things, please. Just to revert a little bit, we were talking about the sponsors.
Yes.
I would like to see a form that states the insurance of the co-sponsors from the outside,
Mm.
because we got to protect ourselves as a city. And the other one just kind of left my mind.
They say they want to make it a form, like for somebody want to come and donate money to the city, that I see that's a little, out of the line. How can we gonna have a form to make somebody fill it out if they want to sponsor one of the event for any one of us?
that's not what she said.
I believe that's what you asking before, something like that, or vice mayor.
It
No,
wasn't-
what the-
Can I just finish?
Let,
please?
let her finish, yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay. And the other thing I was gonna mention is, I think we really need to take a look at what we charge for our buildings and our parks. It is so far beneath where it should be. And if we were to at least be competitive to surrounding cities, we will be able to balance out some of the overtime for the staff.
That will be coming back to the commission.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Madam Manager, so I want to go back. I do agree with Vice Mayor Kelly. We do need to put a number on events that we have outside of the special events, budgeted special events. However, the only challenge that I will have, that there's some things that are initiatives, but not really events. For example, Vice Mayor does it with Flo, and I do it with Dario Fernandez's office. They bring the bus, they park it. We don't use our staff. They do everything. They just set up in our parking lot. So is that considered an event? The same with Vice Mayor when he does Flow. They set up in the park that is already open during business hours. They don't use our staff. The only thing they use is either the parking lot or the building. Or when we brought the tax collector to the city hall. So that also needs to be defined as well when we have this next part of this conversation. Because there is a difference. There is a difference.
Will do.
Okay.
That's a bit different. Well, let me touch a little point of that.
Okay,
Real quick, in that event, when we made it together when Dade County tax collection, Mr. Regalado, I even asking my manager and the police department if we have anything extra, because the problem happened there. After 7, we have a big amount of people that we service. And let me tell you this, that I received a very good report today, and we're not serving all the people from outside of Opa-locka, but I have something here that is official for the Dade County. Only people from Opa-locka, 273 people resident in the great city of Opa-locka. It's not me that I write it down. That's sending by the Department for Regalado. And I asking my manager and my police department chief, I think that night, or the person that she left there in charge, if our police need to get pay extra to let me know.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Let me put it loud and clear. And
Alright.
that's for the community.
Thank you, Commissioner. So, I think, man, Vice Mayor, all of us are aligned. I do think we need to put a number on events outside of the special events. And I'll throw a number out there, 6. 6 additional. That's 6 months out of the year and we can choose. Or if somebody has a different number, we can throw something else out there. Vice Mayor, that was, you brought, just
yeah,
throwing that number,
you mean 6 more individuals?
6 more individuals.
Oh, no, no. Let me say why. And again, the points you make up, it depends on what it is. But even with like when I do flow and you bring them, even though they're using the outside or they're using inside, I know for mine, we still have a police person there or either a PSA there. So that's still a cost, although it's minimal. I think given where we are and trying to rein this in, I would really go for a lower number of maybe 3 or 4, at least to start, until we get the manager's numbers back on the overtime and the expenses outside of the norm. I would feel more comfortable. Now, if it comes back with a different number, 6 might be okay, but I think that's too high for extra things, unless, because again, part of what was proposed in that legislation, if something came up and the whole commission agreed, then that became a different situation.
Okay.
But in terms of me just going and saying, I want to have a dig up the dirt event and it goes through the process and you want to have, dig up the grass event, I think we may need to also look at combining both dig up the ground events. But even at that, I think 3 or 4 should be sufficient, at least until the manager comes up with, tell us what that number, because I think the overtime, as she said, the staffing is our big concern. Because when I look at this, it looks like we're pretty much in line. I mean, some of them are a little over, but don't look like we went over a whole lot or under on many of these. But I think those are the outside ones. And I would say this to all of us, as a part of our thought process, we have to figure out where this really starts the process. Because when I have an event or am I thinking about something, I usually go to the clerk and say, is there anything on the calendar for this date? And she will say sometimes, I don't have anything on the calendar. But then when I look on social media, I see something posted that she did not know. Now, I know since we've changed, a lot of that has went to the manager's office because we had the events coordinator, and I know a lot of these things now originate in your office. So that needs to be clarified too. Where do you go? Somebody comes to you and say, I got this great initiative, Commissioner Irvin or Commissioner Santiago, I want to do, and we really need to do it on the 14th of May. Before we even commit, let me make a call to whomever to say, first of all, is that date available? And they could say, no, there's nothing happening on the 14th, but it's happening on the 13th and the 16th. So you may have to consider, do you want to put that in there? That needs to be a real conversation. So as you doing your due diligence to bring back to us, that needs to be incorporated in there as well. Again, it's not against any, because all of us know folks, we have initiatives, different things we want to do, but we have to rein this in and get a structure on it. So I would say 3 or 4, unless the manager really says that the overtime and the stress and expense on the staff and the clerk says the same thing. So I think 6, that's 30 more.
No, the reason why I said 6, and that was inclusive of initiatives, partnerships, and stuff like that. So 6 will also include if we partner with the tax collector, and they bring their stuff, and we're not doing anything. They're just setting up in the parking lot. That, because to me, that's still an event. That's why I said 6.
Oh, so so
it's
clarify,
inclusive.
you're inclusive of everything. Okay.
6.
Okay. Well, that's a different way of looking at it. And again, okay. I know we want to move on because that's a deeper discussion, because some things we do are corporately as a whole,
Right.
but is that considered my event?
Going back to your word, you said there's always have to be a point.
Well,
Always
and
have
I
to be a
agree with
point.
that, but there's still, is that going to be considered one of my 6?
If you're the sponsor, that would be one of your 6.
I don't agree with.
So who gets credit for
I don't agree
bingo?
with that.
But bingo is budgeted.
I know, but still,
But
you
if-
said a point person.
If
So is that one of who's 6? That's one of all of our 6?
no, if bingo's budgeted, so that's taken care of. We do it every second Friday of the month. Is it scheduled on the calendar event. But let's just say Vice Mayor, let's just say Commissioner Irvin said, I want to have disco bingo on the fourth Friday. That's an
Okay.
additional event.
So so you're saying all of us would get six additional?
Six additional events.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's
think that's too
inclusive,
much.
but it's also inclusive of initiatives. Remember, we partnered with the what's the guy's name? He's coming back next month. Miss M. Darryl Fernandez's office. So
Okay.
he's bringing back the truck again to do everything, but they're going to be parked in the front, and we're doing that. But I think that should count as an event.
So Mayor,
So
I have
you
a
can
question.
streamline it. Yes, ma'am.
So
Ven to help the
Flo comes every month. That would give him 12 events.
But the reason why I wouldn't say anything about flow, because flow is also attached to the feeding. So it's something already going on. So he just attached it to something that's already going on.
Okay.
So if Bass wanted to have a domino challenge the same day as bingo in the same room, I don't see that a problem. But it's when Bass wants to have a dominoes challenge the very next day outside of, and I'm only saying outside of what's on this paper, that's when it becomes, to me, an issue. But if we're partnering together or we're partnering events, I don't see that as a problem. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Mr. Mayor.
My opinion. I know that's getting convoluted, but
I just
my
think you
opinion.
just added more to the staff, and they're sitting over there quiet. But the clerk and the manager, y'all sitting there quiet. We're actually talking about adding potentially. I know we may not, but
That's 57 events.
Back it up. I'll go 4. But I just want to say that there are initiatives that come up. That was my point. Even though when he comes during the daytime, but is that considered an event? That's where I'm at with it. But I don't mind the 4.
Mr. Mayor, if I may say, when, let's say bingo, I'm gonna use bingo. It is budgeted, but I'll still use bingo. Bingo is done during park hours. The only thing outside of park staff would be when we have an officer that comes and sit there, but officers are already working, or we use a reserve officer. So, because I know I'm sorry, I'm going to use grown folks. I know at grown folks, I have a lot of reserve
Yes,
officers.
we do get reserves.
And I know, because that's not a budgeted item, but parks are still open, and it's, I think, like maybe 2 hours. We go 2 hours over
Yes.
what park usually work. So that will be an expense to the city. But if we say that the sponsors are willing to pay the salary of those park workers that stay, would that still be a problem?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's not a problem financially, but it is a problem with our staff because we are burning them out.
Okay.
All right.
So it's,
All right. So
Everything have a solution. We're gonna find a solution for that.
that's why we're here. So
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
we can do 4 additional. I can agree to that. And then you can bring it back in legislation form, sum this all up. If everybody is okay with that. That's 4 additional events. Now, I will say this, we're already in February. Not literal, but I know a lot of us have stuff on the calendar already. So can this begin in March? And I just want to be fair to anybody that already has
Well,
something
Mr. Mayor,
on the calendar.
I would
Vice
just say this to all of us. Let the manager, attorney, clerk work on that and try to have, because again, she's got to look at this proposed policy, probably meet with us individually, get our thoughts to put something together. So I'd like to say hopefully by May or June to have something back, but all of us just keep in mind at the moment to lessen as much as we can, if I can say it like that. So it does take the stress off the staff as much as possible, using reserves, try to do things within the hours incorporated so it doesn't burn out staff. But I think it'll be challenging. And as you said, a lot of, everyone may have stuff they're planning, already talked to folks, so I don't want to stymie that. So I would really push it back to say maybe May to have something back before us. And in the meantime, she can meet with us. If she feels she needs another workshop, she can do that. Because if you've already talked to somebody about possibly doing something, I'm just going back saying you got to stop that. So I would offer to my colleagues to get it back to us in some form to make sure she can incorporate everything. So my colleague said, Commissioner Santiago, look at other cities, what they're doing. Commissioner Bass talk about the insurance and fees, and that gives all of them enough time to really put that together. So then we do pass it. It is tight and it's correct going forward. I just think going forward right now, all of us just need to be kind of aware of the stress it's putting on the staff. So I would just offer that to my colleagues as a suggestion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Who said it? Commissioner Irvin.
I'm okay with us giving the manager a directive to tweak this and get it right. Don't have her do all that work and then we come and do what we did last meeting.
That's why I said we.
Because
we
she
need
did
to
a
make-
lot of
we
work
need
with
to
that
make a
other,
decision tonight.
and then everything she did went out the window because we went on another direction. So
But go ahead, Commissioner. Bass.
I have a quick question. I need clarification. Several of the events that I do, it's cohorts, right? Like the parenting classes was 6 weeks, the LESH classes, that's 4 weeks. And I want to know if that counts as one. And I try to schedule my events around regular hours, so I don't have after dark, different from the night of Thanksgiving. So I want to know, how would that fit with us having 4 or 5 events, since I have cohorts?
Yeah, I agree. Madam Manager,
That was
let
good.
me ask you a question. And I don't mean to cut you. Give me one
It's
second.
okay.
Because I think you answered, we got the same question. The next agenda is it an extensive, is it long, the next meeting? On the 11th?
February 11th?
Yes.
No.
Okay, can you do a presentation on, that gives you about 2 weeks, on commission events? And at that presentation, define as much as you can, everything.
Sure.
And that goes with, and what you think, your opinion, how you want to see, because ultimately your staff, between you and the clerk, deals with this. So telling us what city event is, what is a non-budget event, blah, 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 blah. Talking about the cohorts, even the insurance, and it was something else you brought up too.
What she said.
What she said. What did you say?
She said, don't do all this work.
And don't do all this work. Don't do all this work. Speaking on flyers, speaking on everything, how we just break it down. Protocols, who does what, pictures, break it down, how you all desire to see it. Present that to the commission in a discussion forum at the next meeting. We can discuss it that night, and then you can bring it back in legislation form. And we can always phase it out. We can do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase whatever. But bring us something to work with. And then I would also go back to what Vice Mayor said. My suggestion is, even prior to that, meet with every commissioner. Meet with everybody to get, our thoughts, our wants, our questions. And then that way you can answer them in a public setting and let everybody know. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm not asking you to break sunshine, I'm just asking you to just.
Mr.
Mr.
Mayor,
Mayor.
Commissioner Irvin.
to the manager. And Madam Manager, tell it like it needs to be told
Yeah.
when you meet individually, okay?
Give us.
And to my colleagues, make sure y'all can handle what she tell y'all.
Including the numbers. So we want to know what we've done, where we are now, and what's your plan forward between you and the clerk and whoever is involved with that.
Mr. Mayor, I'm waiting on an answer. I'm waiting on an answer. I need to know. Because my next cohort is coming up for lymphatic drainage. Trading.
We're not changing anything right now. Everything that you have planned, I agree, Vice Mayor agree, is on the books. The manager will bring, because she can't answer the question, she doesn't really know. The manager's gonna bring something to us next week, and at that time, we'll discuss it. But go ahead with your cohort. I'm okay with my
Okay.
cohort. Everybody's good with the cohort. Have fun at the drainage. What did you first?
Drainage.
Static.
Massage training. Okay, and Mr. Mayor, before you closing this, please, to the city manager, the next discussion that we have, like this tonight, a workshop, please just do it in another day that is not a commissioner meeting.
No, she's gonna do it. She's doing it.
No, I say the one that you say we're gonna have another workshop to discuss and all that in June and May or whatever. Okay, and I want to add, things that are going to be sitting with you very soon, because all the pressure and all the, direction and all the things that we want to implant is only for the commissioners. But let me tell you, the time for the commissioners is value too. Okay, we do a lot of things. We are forcing ourselves to serve in the community, and when we serve in the community, we need you stuff, you people, the people working here in the city. Thank you.
All right, so Madam Manager, you have your marching orders. You have your marching orders. But please, I agree, totally agree with Commissioner Irvin and Vice Mayor. Tell us like it is, even if we don't like it. Tell us. Tell us. So we're all on the same page and nobody can say they don't. We're gonna open up for public comments. And those of you that do have public comments, we ask that you stay germane to the topic at hand, which is special events. So we're gonna open up real quick for public comments. Public comments is open. Seeing none, hearing none, public comments is closed.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I move by Vice Mayor Kelly? Second by Commissioner Dr. Bass. This meeting is adjourned. I'll see you at our regularly scheduled commission meeting.